My name is Moses Ojewumi. Stay with us.
Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has launched the 2021 Armed Forces and Remembrance Day emblem with a charge on well-meaning individuals and corporate organizations to join hands with the state government to ameliorate the sufferings of the family members of the fallen heroes. Governor's office correspondent Tunde Olaniran reports that the governor called on the service chiefs to help in the sensitization of the men and by extension the public to contain the spread of COVID-19 in the state. His report.
For Nigeria to live together in peace and its territorial integrity intact, it is the job of the armed forces. While on this national duty, some lose their lives, others get injured, while some suffer psychological and emotional torment. Part of ways lined up to remember the gallantry of these men is the launch of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day emblem. The event is a reminder of the plight of the war veterans and in some cases the family members that they left behind.
Your Excellency, sir, we have less than 2 years of your administration in the state. Nigerian region has achieved during this period what is not achievable in the last decade. We have been able to cater for the welfare of widows of our fallen heroes and aged living ones across the state.
The governor of Ogun State, Prince Abiodun, noted that the remembrance of the fallen heroes should be all year round.
It's a week that we dedicated to remind us of the fallen heroes, but more importantly, that these fallen heroes, many of them have spouses, they have children, they have brothers, they have sisters, some of them have parents.
He urged the peace and development of the nation on the steadfastness and commitment of the war veterans.
I want to assure you that we remain as committed as we were last year, because we do appreciate the labor of these our heroes and heroines of time past. I will continue to support you. We also use this opportunity to call on other well-meaning individuals and corporate bodies to join hands with us in supporting the cause of Nigerian Legion.
Prince Abiodun used the opportunity to seek collaboration of the service chiefs in sensitization of the public against the spread of COVID-19.
But we can see that the number of cases that we're seeing daily are far in excess of the number of cases that we saw even when we had the lockdown. We're seeing people falling sick every day, we're seeing people dying every day. Like I said to people, I have seen 2021, because some people say, I didn't do anything, 2020 was just a terrible year. Yes, it was a very different year. It was an unusual year. But to be alive in 2021 is even an achievement by itself. However, we must do our part. We must be very responsible. We must keep our masks on. I must endeavor to also inculcate same in those around us.
The governor gave the Nigerian Legion a patrol vehicle and 2 motorbikes for a more effective service delivery. Tunde Olaniran, Ogtv News.
The current administration in Ogun State has partnered with the United Nations Population Fund towards reducing maternal mortality rate in the state. Wife of the state governor, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, made this known while commissioning the clinical scale laboratory at the Federal Medical Center, Idiaba, Abeokuta. Correspondent Adebola Oshomoji has the details.
So I commissioned this to the glory of God and for the benefit of the women in Ogun State, and like you said, to reduce the indices of the maternal death in Ogun State.
This scale laboratory is equipped with modern infrastructure to facilitate learning and keep the midwifery students abreast of the current trend in maternal and child health, especially in the field of obstetrics and gynecology in line with global best practices. According to the wife of Ogun State Governor, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, this pre-service training initiative is one of the current administration's investment in maternal and child health, aimed at reducing maternal mortality in the state by 25% by the end of the year 2022.
Interventions like this, the purpose of building the capacity of midwifery students, are easy to overlook, but should be placed on high priority in our order of engagements across the board. I therefore call on other international donor agencies and local non-governmental organizations to team up with the government of Ogun State in the fight against maternal mortality.
In her submission, the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tommy Coker, said the facility will ensure uninterrupted delivery of skills to the midwives without physical interface with patients or clients.
The skills lab buy mannequins that would simulate the real scenario, so that our midwives, when they qualified and leave, we can immediately engage them in the service of women, knowing that they have the right skill to ensure the safe delivery of mother and baby without harm.
Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun therefore appreciates the donors, the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, and called on international donor agencies and non-governmental organizations to team up with the state government in the fight against maternal mortality. Adebola Oshomoji, Ogtv News.
The need to leverage on 5 Sustainable Development Goals agenda, which centered around gender equality, has been emphasized as a way of enhancing women and youth productivity for the betterment of society. This was a submission of some Nigerians who spoke with Ogtv News on the need for women to be empowered towards enhancing socio-economic development of the country. Yusuf Ganil reports.
The quest of gender equality has been in contest in modern times, but despite the stride towards equality, women still face various issues such as disproportionate levels of poverty and education, poor health and nutrition, as well as lack of political power, gender-based violence, female genital mutilation, among others. A counseling psychologist from the Federal College of Education, Ushele Abeokuta, Dr. Oluwayemisi Adeniji, said empowering the women and youths is a good approach to strengthen their capacity for social and economic growth.
Women are underrated in such a way that they said they don't have the mind, they are not strong. That is why some of the positions in society are even withdrawn from women. So challenges of looking down that we are not stronger vessel, but it is not like that. Our education is not to end in the kitchen, but to liberate the society.
Other respondents also disclosed that government at all levels must be ready to support the culture that will ensure women and the youth are better equipped.
We have far more women than men, not only in Nigeria, globally. And if we have a program that focuses on women empowerment, obviously you would have empowered quite a significant fraction of the population.
When a woman is empowered, she's able to take care of her family. She makes a man stable. She provides for our children. She ensures the good health for our children. She ensures that we have children who will grow up into adults that are sane in the society.
The need for equal opportunity for women participation in economic and political spheres was also emphasized.
Opportunity to participate in even the politics. We can make the economy. Women generally can make our economy to be more buoyant because we are managers.
They should trust in themselves. They should believe that they have the capacity to make things happen. They should also hold this belief that they could be the agent of change that we actually need in this country.
Women and girls are key agents of development and change for building inclusive, prosperous and peaceful society. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
Gender inequality in some multinationals and group of companies is generally regarded as a social process by which men and women are not treated as equals. In those reports, some respondents who shared their views with Ogtv News analyzed causes and effects of gender inequality in the society and possible solutions to this trend. Peter Falomo completes the report.
wide trend of disparity of gender inequalities is believed to often been demonstrated by many groups in the society. Some respondents who spoke on such social menace said it affects Nigeria's policy goal in the quest to building an egalitarian and oppression-free society.
The problem is not until you put a man on a woman on a job, that is when you will know how capable such a fellow is. But where at the first instance, because of his gender or his sex, you said this particular job is not meant for you, is increasing unemployment in the society. The morale of a brilliant chap, a brilliant man or a female is being affected. He does not see any good thing that society can offer him, when in fact he knows he's up to the task.
We have women that are even wiser and even they are special, they are unique in their calling than men. But because she is a woman, you think she's a weaker vessel. It's a social vice that we need to correct. Even in organizations, there are women who are CEO and they are taking the lead.
In some kind of business of a kind of hospitality like this, in terms of marketing, when ladies speak to men pay audience than the ladies, than their fellow men.
They added that those in the position of leadership in both private and public sectors need to be alive to their responsibilities by developing ways and means of bridging the gap between the advantaged and the disadvantaged individuals.
Government, stakeholders, everybody must talk, must encourage people to shun gender discrimination. Everybody must know that we are all equal, we are human beings, irrespective of our gender affiliation. If I'm a man, yes, by being a man should not be against me, should not be taken against me. By being a female or a woman, it should not be an offense that will now use it to now deny me that's my right.
As a way of reducing the trend of gender imbalance to the barest minimum, respondents enjoined the leadership of the country to come up with more emphatic labor law for the employers.
No particular gender. It is even in our constitution. Nobody should be discriminated against by virtue of your sex or your gender. So both the male and the female, should be given the opportunity to maximize their potentials.
According to them, seminars, workshops, and on-the-job training for all employees will equally go a long way for better understanding on consequences of gender discrimination, thereby creating a more collaborative and positive work environment for all. Peter Falomu, Ogtv News.
Different societies have their moral values which are considered normal, ideal, and acceptable. Hence, the conduct of the people of such society is regulated and controlled by these values. In society nowadays, high rates of indiscipline and lawlessness in educational institutions and in society are on the high side. What could be responsible for this? Our reporter Kolawole Osho in this special report takes a look at solutions to moral decadence that is ravaging society. Details of this report are presented in this package.
Moral decadence is the failure to uphold sound morality in society and the process of behaving in a way that shows low moral standards. According to respondents, this problem has eaten deep into the fabrics of the society and it has reduced the value of education and destroyed the human capacity for leadership and good citizenship.
There is breakdown of laws and order. There is high rate of corruption that has equally led to this cultism, indecent way of dressing, which makes some ladies too susceptible to rape and what have you. These things are products of moral decadence in our society.
I see that people are sagging these days, and the younger ones are just keeping into it. You see some younger guys are now plating hairs, they put on earring and some other things like such. Civilization, so to say today, has really caused a very big affront to our system.
They added that the behavior lowers the academic integrity of the institutions, destroy peace, security, and development of the society.
And the effect is very, very big. When you see unrest, when you see cultism among students, when you see examination malpractices, leakages in examination, all these things, even in the place of work, everything bounced back or originated from moral decadence. So it's seriously affecting the proper face of the society. And we all need to rise up so that we can prevent it.
So I really want to call on the government that the government should do the needful. They should try to make a law so that there be morality in all aspects of our life. The parents as well as a crucial role to play, because that's where the upbringing start from.
Respondents asserted that declining rates of discipline in schools have contributed to the erosion of high academic attainments, demoralized teaching staff, which has brought disappointment to many parents.
The school as an institution to also assist in instilling sound morality into our children. They are also feeling the school is also feeling its responsibility. So should endeavor to also assist in seeing a degree of morality in this our children.
Let's look at collapse of discipline in the school. Let's look at lack of power, lack of parental power to control a child. Let's look at the media influence. Let's look at even science and technology, and even peer pressure. A lot of things are the causal agents of moral decadency in our society.
They, however, enjoined governments at all levels, parents, and heads of educational institutions to play their roles perfectly in curbing the menace for a better society.
And still to come in the news, ASU awaits release of 40 billion naira after suspending 9-month strike. More news and reports after this break.
As I dey waka inside this journey called life.
No one sees what this journey took from him.
But I'll keep on keeping on. Cause them say nothing good they come in.
How far he pushed his mind and his body. How many times he broke down and needed support. But success lies on the other end of pain. See as everybody dey hail am now, cheering every verse and chorus. As Naija mama where I be, my son no fit carry last. So when pain comes knocking, we look back at it without fear and say, not today.
For aches, pains, and fever, trust Emzor paracetamol.
Thanks for joining us in part 2 of the news. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the establishment of at least one oxygen plant in each of the 36 states of the Federation. The chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, announced this during a briefing on Tuesday in Abuja, the nation's capital. President Buhari also gave approval for the rehabilitation of 5 oxygen plants across tertiary health institutions across the country. This comes as COVID commenced the distribution of 100 oxygen cylinders per day to critical care centers till March end. Nigeria on Monday recorded its highest figure of COVID-19 cases in a day since the outbreak of the disease in February 2020, as the Lagos state government issued a directive for schools to reopen. This was disclosed in a late-night tweet by the agency responsible for the management of disease outbreaks in the country, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC. It revealed that a total of 1,204 new confirmed cases were reported from 20 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Of the figure, Lagos State reported the highest number of infections in a single day with 654 new cases. The Southwest state is followed by the FCT, Plateau, and Kaduna, where 260 and 54 more infections were confirmed. Similarly, Kano recorded 40, Rivers got 30, Edo has 28, Nasarawa recorded 25, Kebbi confirmed 19, Bauchi reported 18, Oyo has 13, Akwa Ibom recorded 12, while Bayelsa and Ogun states have 11 more cases each. States where cases less than 10 were reported include Delta 9, Abia 8, Benue 5, Imo 3, Borno 2, Sokoto and Osun State recorded 1 each. The new figure brings to 91,351 the total number of coronavirus cases confirmed in the country. Nigeria's recovery figure also rose to 75,699, while 1,318 deaths have been recorded in the 36 states and the nation's capital. The rise in the death toll was as a result of 4 more fatalities reported on Monday. Before the tweet by the NCDC, in which Lagos recorded 654 new cases, the state government had ordered the reopening of schools from January 18. The Commissioner for Education in the state, Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo, who made the announcement, had asked authorities in the schools to make efforts to comply with all the COVID-19 requirements for resumption. The Nigeria Immigration Service, NIS, has strongly advised the 100 banned passengers who violated the federal government's COVID-19 protocols to comply with the 6-month travel restriction order. NIS also said that the affected passengers have been notified and prevented from passport reissuance and traveling outside the country. Sunday James, the NIS Public Relations Officer, disclosed this in a statement in Abuja on Monday. In line with the federal government's directives on temporary travel restrictions on 100 passengers due to non-compliance to the mandatory Day 7 post-arrival COVID-19 PCR test by all inbound travelers, the Controller General of Nigeria Immigration Service has directed the relevant formations to ensure immediate compliance with the travel restriction order. The 100 defaulting passengers have been restricted for a period of 6 months from January 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2021. All the affected passengers have been notified and will be prevented from passport reissuance and traveling outside the country during this period. The Nigeria Immigration Service hereby warned all affected passengers to comply to avoid breaching public health protocols and refusal of departure, the statement read. Meanwhile, the federal government had a few days ago published the passport numbers of the 100 passengers who failed to undergo the mandatory COVID-19 test after returning to Nigeria. The Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Festus Keyamo, has said the Special Public Works Program, which will engage 774,000 unemployed Nigerians, has kicked off today. Keyamo, who broke the news via Twitter, said President Muhammadu Buhari approved the date. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the takeoff of the Special Public Works Program, engaging 774,000 unemployed Nigerians to begin nationwide on Tuesday, January 5th, 2021, he said. The program was earlier slated to kick off on October 1st, but Keyamo had said the president approved the postponement of the scheme owing to floods in some of the project sites. It was later moved to November 1st. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the request of the Minister of State, Labor and Employment to reschedule the commencement date of the Special Public Works Program from the 1st of October to the 1st of November 2020, he had said. The planned recruitment had also caused friction between members of the National Assembly and Keyamo, while federal lawmakers had accused Keyamo of hijacking the program from the National Directorate of Employment, NDE. The minister alleged the legislators they were the ones trying to take over the project. Consequently, the National Assembly suspended the program in the heat of its face-off with the minister, demanding further explanations. That President Muhammadu Buhari directed Keyamo to go ahead with the execution of the program. The program is designed to employ 1,000 people from each of the 774 local government areas in the country and will be coordinated by constituted state committees. The beneficiaries of the program will also earn 20,000 naira monthly. A total of 52 billion naira was voted for the program in the revised 2020 budget. A total of 125,000 rural women across the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, are to receive 20,000 naira each as cash grants from the federal government. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Umar Farouk, disclosed this in Kano during the flag-off of the program in the state. For the cash grants in Kano, she said about 8,000 women across the 44 local government councils would benefit from the federal government's initiative. She was quoted in a statement issued in Abuja by our ministry's Deputy Director, Information, Rhoda Ilia, as saying a cash grant of 20,000 naira will be disbursed to about 125,000 poor women across the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. Farouk, who was represented at the event in Kano by the ministry's permanent secretary, Bashir Alkali, said the project was introduced in 2020 to sustain the social inclusion agenda of government. It is designed to provide a one-off grant to some of the poorest and most vulnerable women in rural and peri-urban areas across the country, she stated. According to her, the grant was expected to increase income and productive assets of target beneficiaries. Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduji commended the government for initiating programs geared towards supporting the poor and vulnerable in the society, especially women and children. He also appreciated the ministry for the enrollment of additional 35,000 beneficiaries from 15 local government councils under the conditional cash transfer scheme. The governor, who was represented by the deputy governor, Usman Alaji, urged the minister to approve the enrollment of the remaining 35,000 beneficiaries from the local government councils. In a similar development, the humanitarian minister stated that over 4,000 beneficiaries across the 27 local government councils of Jigawa State would benefit from the federal government's grant for rural women in the state. The leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has said it is awaiting the release of the 40 billion naira earned allowance the federal government promised the union 12 days after it called off the 9-month strike. The government, it said, has also failed to continue payment of the withheld salaries of its members that are not enrolled on the controversial integrated personnel and payroll information system after paying 2 months in December. ASU called off its strike on December 23, 2020, after a new deal with the government team led by Labour and Employment Minister Chris Ngigi on December 22. As a sign of good faith, the government paid 2 months of the 6-month withheld salaries of ASU members since March last year, leaving 4-month arrears. According to the Memorandum of Action signed between the government and ASU leadership at the meeting on December 22, the federal government agreed to release 40 billion naira to ASU as earned allowance on or before December 31, 2020. The government, through the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, was also supposed to continue the payment of the withheld salaries of the union members affected after Ngigi got a special waiver from President Muhammadu Buhari to that effect. But an ASU leader told reporters in Abuja that the government had missed 2 timelines in the December 22, 2020 Memorandum of Action, with the failure to pay the 40 billion naira earned allowance and another tranche of the withheld 4-month salaries. The ASU chieftain said more timelines have been missed already. Earned allowance was supposed to be paid on or before December 31, 2020. It was not paid. Another 2 months withheld salary was supposed to be paid with the December salary. The December salary has been paid to others, but academics workers who are not registered on IPPIS have not received anything. The people of Egbado North and Imekwa for Federal Constituency will continue to benefit from the dividends of democracy and the massive show of support for Honorable Jimoh Aremu Olaifa. Honorable Olaifa gave this assurance during an empowerment program for the people of the constituency held at his constituency office in Ayetoro. Matthew Shoumi has the details.
Since its emergence as the representative of the people at the National Assembly, Honorable Jimoh Aremu Olaifa has redefined quality representation with regular empowerment programs ranging from skills acquisition projects, construction of boreholes, distribution of transformers, capacity building, and empowerment programs for women and youths. Another of such is this empowerment program where 400 farmers are said to be empowered with bags of fertilizers, boots, sprayers, 50 hairdressers with dryers, 50 tailors with sewing machines, 100 women with grinding machines, while 50 youths will take home generators. The minority whip of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Honorable Jemili Akingbade, said Honorable Olaifa has raised the bar in quality representation and using the political office to better the lot of the people.
It showed clearly that Honorable Aremujima Olaifa is a grassroots politician, and he has started well. He has been doing a lot of job across the 21 wards. My message to the Honorable is that he shouldn't change his behaviors. He's a man of people.
Other dignitaries at the occasion praised the Honorable for putting the interests of his people first with the implementation of various empowerment programs.
I'll just appeal to politicians alike. Do the same. Let them be helpful to those that voted them in. It is very, very important. At least with this, we can build a nation.
Honorable Olaifa says he feels a sense of duty and responsibility to continue to strive to better the lot of the people who have reposed huge confidence in him through massive show of support during the election. He promised to continue to serve the people in every way possible as he called on the beneficiaries to make good use of the items to improve their livelihood.
The aim is to empower these people so that they will be self-reliant. Everybody cannot get a white-collar job. And before you know it, time is running out. You cannot tie down the day. I will appeal to my constituents to make better use of these things so that it will encourage us to do more. Recently, we empowered some people in fishery. I've gone around and I've seen that they are doing fine. Most of them are operating their fish ponds very, very effectively. And I'm being encouraged to even do more and assist them financially.
The high point of the occasion was the distribution of the items to the beneficiaries spread across all the wards in the 2 local governments under the federal constituency, as the people who could not hide their joy assured of continued support for the Honorable.
You have started well. You are doing well. And you will do the best. Amen.
They promised to make good use of the items. Matthew Shomi, Ogtv News.
The Nigerian Bar Association President Olumide Akpata has said that better laws will be made for the advancement of the society. According to him, taking an active interest and participating in the lawmaking process is the core of NBA's duty to the society. In the association's monthly report for November and December 2020, Akpata noted that his office has been engaging the National Assembly on a collaboration that will see the NBA providing technical and specialist support to the legislature on key bills that are presented for enactment. The NBA will play this role through an adequately resourced law reform committee with a secretariat at the National Assembly that will act as a liaison between the NBA and the National Assembly and to represent the NBA at public hearings by the legislature, he said. On the aspect of NBA's position on national issues, Akpata noted that his administration has remained committed and is consistently taking steps to ensure that the bar remains the conscience of the society and a clear voice on all national issues. The NBA president also stated that the association has provided certain insurance cover at no additional cost to its financial members. He added that the insurance is different from the health insurance cover which they are institutionalizing. Akpata further noted that all eligible but outstanding payments of death benefit or claims submitted to or pending at NBA both before and during his administration were settled. Our goal is to coordinate the prompt settlement of all eligible claims going forward, he explained. A federal high court in Abuja has admitted the original certificates of Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki as evidence. Justice Ahmed Mohammed presided over the case of alleged certificate forgery instituted against the governor by the All Progressives Congress APC and the chieftain of the party, Mr. Williams Edobo. The presiding judge admitted the document as exhibit on Tuesday, while the defendants called the first witness to attest to their originality. Documents admitted by the court include Governor Obaseki's first school leaving certificate obtained in 1971, his ordinary level certificate obtained in 1973, and his higher school certificate obtained in 1976. Others are the Governor's Bachelor of Arts degree certificate issued by the University of Ibadan in 1979 and a Master's degree certificate issued to him by the Pace University in New York, the United States in 1994. Counsel to the plaintiff, Akin Olujimi, had raised an objection to the primary school certificate and original copy of the Governor's certificate from the University of Ibadan. He said the documents were not front-loaded and all arguments in respect to the objections raised will be taken to the final written address. Governor Obaseki's certificates were admitted as evidence a day after the APC closed its case against him. At the resumed hearing of the suit on Monday, Olujimi concluded the APC's case with the cross-examination of an expert witness, Raphael Owuzuligo, who is a retired assistant superintendent of police and a forensic document examiner. When cross-examined by counsels to Obaseki, Owuzuligo informed the court that the University of Ibadan's logo on the governor's certificate appeared to have been compromised. He added that the signature of the vice-chancellor of the university was missing from the certificate, not because the document was poorly scanned, but that it was truly missing. On his part, Olujimi stated that the testimony of the witness further proved their case against Governor Obaseki. A 45-year-old man, Akonji Oluwaseyi, had been arrested for forcefully having carnal knowledge of a 13-year-old daughter named withheld, according to Ogun State Command Public Relations Officer DSP Abimbola Oyeyemi. The arrest of the suspect followed a complaint from the victim, who reported at Obantoko Divisional Headquarters on the 30th of December 2020 that her father came to the shop where she is tailoring apprentice and begged her mistress to permit her to come and fetch water for him at home. She stated further that she left the shop and fetched water as requested by her father, but surprisingly, her father suddenly grabbed her and forcefully had carnal knowledge of her. On the strength of the report, the DPO of Obantoko Division, CSP Sunday Okwebiyi, quickly detailed his detectives to the man's house, where he was promptly arrested. He initially denied the allegation, but when he was confronted by the victim, he became dumbfounded. The victim was quickly taken to Olukoya Hospital for medical attention. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police, CP Edward Ajogun, has ordered the immediate transfer of the case to Anti-Human Trafficking and Child Labor Unit of the State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department for further investigation and prosecution. Gunmen have killed the former Education Secretary of Nasarawa local government area of the state, Malami Saliu, and kidnapped 20 people who were traveling to Total local government area of the state. The incident took place on Tuesday afternoon along Mungi Sharp Corner, Bugawari, Gadabuke area of Total local government area. The 20 kidnapped victims were traveling in 3 vehicles and were intercepted by the gunmen, who marched them into the bush. The late Saliu was among those kidnapped, but his lifeless body was later found in the bush near the road. The Secretary of Gadabuke Emirate Council, Abdullahi Baba, who confirmed the incident to reporters, said the gunmen in the numbers came out from the bush and attacked the vehicles plying the road and marched the passengers into the bush to an unknown destination. He said the former Education Secretary was also traveling alongside his friend in a private vehicle, was also taken away with others, but his dead body was later found in a nearby bush, he said. He said the kidnappers have not made any contact to any of the relatives of the victims. On business news, Central Bank of Nigeria directs banks to obtain borrowers' records from credit bureaus before granting loans. These are some business news after the break.